GOP seats in D.C. Governor Shapiro was asked his opinion on that today.
They want to rig the system in a way that tries to preserve their majority. I think that's shameful.
Nationwide is Texas and the attempt by Republican lawmakers to redraw their congressional map to pick up GOP seats in D.C. Governor Shapiro was asked his opinion on that today.
They want to rig the system in a way that tries to preserve their majority. I think that's shameful.
Now, it wasn't that long ago that Pennsylvania had a redistricting fight of its own. The Democratic-controlled Supreme Court settled it. Republicans cried foul and, yes, used that G word, gerrymander. First, the good news.
Our current congressional map is one of the best, most responsive in the country.
Carol Cunningham is with Fair Districts PA, pleased with Pennsylvania's current map of 9 Republican seats, 8 Democrats.
We went from having one of the most gerrymandered in the country to having one of the best in the country.
Bad news, she says, was this 2011 map with a lopsided 13 Republican seats, just 5 Democrats.
And we think any activity by either party that takes power away from voters, which gerrymandering does, is wrong.
To right the wrong, the state Supreme Court ordered a redraw in 2018 and chose this map, which yielded 9 Republican seats, 9 Democrats. Republicans like Senator Chris Dush called it judicial overreach.
We have the authority to declare a map unconstitutional. What they don't have the authority to do is write law.
Or draw maps, he argues, but they did. Fast forward to the 2020 census. PA lost a congressional seat down to 17. This new map, our current map, at first created a 9-8 Democratic advantage in 2022. Last November, that flipped. It's now 9-8 Republican. Pretty balanced.
You know, the Goldilocks map, the one that was just right.
But Texas' naked partisanship is just wrong, insists David Thornburg.
It's the degree to which this has been weaponized. You know, this is heading towards, nuclear conflict as opposed to a little backyard scrap.
Even Dush, a proud conservative, cringes at Texas' mid-decade redraw.
If this was totally done for political means, that's not what the Constitution is set up for.
Now Democratic states threatening to do a little pen one-upsmanship of their own.
So if both parties are playing this game where they're capturing districts without regard for us, pox on both their house.
But the map battle won't be coming to this battleground state anytime soon, thanks to narrow majorities and divided government. Of course, political winds can and do change.
It could be us the next time, and it's bad for the country.
We should also note that Congress people from Texas or any state vote on policy and programs that impact all states.
Jason Baker. I'm currently your elected Republican representative to the Central Committee for our district. You have honored me for the past few years of serving you, and I always have served with your interest at heart, not mine, not the will of the... Jason Baker. I'm currently your elected Republican representative to the Central Committee for our district. You have honored me for the past few years of serving you, and I always have served with your interest at heart, not mine, not the will of the party, and not the will of any government official. Our community has always been close. Our community helped instill the values that I have because we have been a strong, close community for hundreds of years. As you know, I have announced that I am running for Baltimore County Council. In my vision for this area, is going to be something that's going to take us to the next century, and it's going to revolutionize our district. Many of these ideas that I'm about to discuss came from you, in my conversations with you, and it came from knowing the people, and it came from also working with President Trump's administration. Number one, I've been seeing Western Pennsylvania and Texas getting infrastructure and funding for these major artificial intelligence plants. Well, why don't we have that? We have something that other places don't. We have two main things. Prime real estate, because we have the waterfront right here on the Chesapeake Bay, adjacent to the Atlantic Ocean, right in the center of the ocean. We have real estate. Businesses and organizations should be thriving here and wanting to come here. Because not only do we have a location with waterfront, we have you, our people. Our people are great. Yeah, we have blue collar people, we have affluent people, we have people struggling. That's what has always made our community tight and close. We work together. This is an area where hundreds of years of family names have been thriving because we stick together. The America First vision was always about taking care of your own, taking care of your block, your family, your community, your city, your state. And that's what America First really is. It's taking care of our own community first. That's what we will continue to do. Also, federal jobs, like the Housing and Urban Development Building that is trying to be relocated, are very high-paying careers in the federal sector that should be somewhere like here. Why does Woodlawn have the Social Security building with great careers there, but Dundalk, Edgemere has never had that type of person to help bring in those types of jobs that will work with the administrations to get those jobs here? Our people are great. We deserve those positions. Secondly, trade schools. Many of our students growing up right now are the next generation of your electricians, your plumbers, your HVAC. They need to have an avenue to learn these trades and make high-paying careers in the blue-collar sector in these trades. A lot of these people make great money, and a lot of these people will be servicing the artificial intelligence factories that will be coming here. We'll be servicing those check sectors, and then in the federal business that we'll be bringing here. So we need to have an avenue for those individuals as well. I will be working with different unions to help create a path for many students who are interested in these things and are inclined to it to have ways to get to that. Lastly, safety. Our community has always been close, always been safe. There were never murders or anything when I was a child or even before, occasionally maybe, but many politicians and inept leaders have basically let political whatever come into our communities and push the city policies in here. And Jason Baker, I'm currently your elected Republican representative to the Central Committee for our district. You have honored me for the past few years of serving you, and I always have served with your
Last November, Secretary Garrity said. Last November, Secretary Garrity set the record for the most votes received in a statewide election. It appears she might want to break her own record next November, but for another office. Sarah Wilson's here. Sarah.
Hey, Alistair, good evening. The Republican has been teasing a run for governor. No announcement yet, but I asked her about her biggest challenger today. At a Purple Heart ceremony, Treasurer Stacy Garrity asked if she plans to turn Purple Pennsylvania red next November.
I've made a decision, and there will be an announcement very soon.
Garrity not saying what that decision is. Many Republicans see her as a promising candidate. Many, but not all.
Stacy has a long way to go with name recognition.
Republican State Senator Doug Mastriano, who lost to Shapiro in 22, teasing another run. Garrity is seen as his biggest competitor. How do you respond to those in the GOP saying she does have a better chance than you do?
You know, unless her campaign comes at me, I am not going to say anything ill of her. I am proud to say that my wife and I, helped her win in 2020. She had no traction early on.
You know what? They were incredibly helpful, and I will forever be grateful for Senator Mastriano and Revy.
Independent polls have shown Mastriano edging out Garrity in a potential primary. I asked Garrity about that.
Well, I have to tell you, I go to all 67 counties every single year, so I meet with people in all four corners across the state, and I think there's a lot of enthusiasm for a potential Garrity run.
But lots of Republicans know Mastriano has a passionate base that will be tough to beat in a GOP primary. Still, it's expected they'll back Garrity. Are you confident that you could win a gubernatorial election if you do run?
Well, let's not get into hypotheticals since I haven't announced yet.
I also asked Garrity about the late state budget. Like a lot of Republicans, she says she is worried about that $50+ billion spending bill and doesn't believe Pennsylvania can afford to spend that much. Valerie?
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27. We're excited.
That is your local election headquarters. That is your local election headquarters. Pennsylvania will elect its next governor next November. But the race is already shaping up. Our Sarah Wilson spoke exclusively with one possible candidate, Sarah.
Alicia, Doug Mastriano has done everything but launch a formal campaign for governor. He will face a Democrat in the November general election, but first, he has a lot of skeptics to face in his own party.
Freedom is what all people yearn for.
Freedom is what unites us.
Freedom is what this movement is all about.
Doug Mastriano is free to run for governor, but it will be costly, worry Republican insiders.
Please don't run, Doug.
The Republican state senator ran and lost in 2022, but relaunched his campaign website. He doesn't specifically say he's running, but he hints at it, even adopting his Walk as Free People slogan.
I'm asking people to wake up.
But Mastriano has awakened many Republicans who see him as a nightmare candidate after his double-digit loss to Governor Shapiro.
I think we're going to have a repeat of what happened in the 2022 general, where everyone, the party included, just kind of abandons him.
The reason Republicans say Mastriano was and is too red to win a purple state.
There's nothing radical about me. Jesus said a house divided against itself, will fall. And so that's our play right now.
But many think it's Mastriano doing the dividing, confident that he has a passionate base that will be tough to beat in a GOP primary. Many Republicans are backing Treasurer Stacy Garrity, who's expected to announce soon. How do you respond to those in the GOP saying she does have a better chance than you do?
Unless her campaign comes at me, I am not going to say anything ill of her. I am proud to say that my wife and I, helped her win in 2020. She had no traction early on.
Mastriano's traction, perhaps just getting started.
When we do, Sarah, it's not going to be a post on social media.
You just said when, not if. Is that confirmation that you are planning to run?
We will see.
Tried to get an answer there. It is a wait-and-see moment. Democrats are hoping Mastriano...
Congressman Dan Muser, a confidant of President Trump and considered Dan Muser, a confidant of President Trump and considered a top Republican challenger to Governor Shapiro, ended the speculation and told our Dennis Owens why.
I feel honored and privileged to serve as the 48th governor of this great Commonwealth.
Josh Shapiro gets the history of his job.
You look up, you're staring at portraits of those who came before you, starting with William Penn. By the way, over my right shoulder is Ben Franklin.
And Shapiro will soon be looking over his shoulder at which Republican will challenge for that job next year. It won't be Congressman Dan Muser.
And I think over the next 18 months, I can do a lot more staying in Congress than campaigning around the Commonwealth.
Muser, who was promised a President Trump endorsement, said he'd rather work on the Trump agenda. In a statement, Democratic Govenor said Muser dropped out to avoid being knocked out by Shapiro, adding alarm bells are no doubt going off for Republicans who face an increasingly uphill battle against Pennsylvania's Get Stuff Done governor.
I don't buy that. I don't subscribe to that.
Senator Greg Rothman chairs the statewide Republican Party.
I feel confident that we are going to roll out in probably the next few weeks really a perfect nominee to take on Josh Shapiro, someone who's going to be a great contrast.
Harrisburg Buzz says that's Treasurer Stacy Garrity, woman, PA's never elected one as governor, veteran, won statewide twice, breaking Shapiro's vote record in the process. I asked Rothman for a hint. Initials SG.
I would rather not say right now.
After signing a Sunday hunting bill, Shapiro was equally tight-lipped when asked about Muser's withdrawal.
This is a bill saying I'm not getting into politics here. There'll be a time for politics.
And that time's rapidly approaching. Though Muser won't take on Shapiro at the ballot box, he will take him on.
We have a governor that has no plan. Dennis, his plan is to get stuff done. Okay, that's not a plan. That's not even a plan for a small business. That's not a plan for a deli. That's like a honey-do list on a Saturday morning.
But do Republicans have a plan and a candidate to defeat a well-funded and pretty popular governor? That is the question. In Harrisburg, I'm Dennis Owens.
Well, there you have it, guys. As you've seen, if Doug Mastriano if Doug Mastriano runs for governor in this election, it could be another repeat of 2022, where the Republican Party and everybody with them just kind of abandons him from the party. And then again, he says that he still has his conservative grassroots base. We shall see, but who's on the top of the ticket in the governor election? Who's on the ticket on top of the ticket in the governor on the gubernatorial election matters all down the ballot, Republican-wise, as we saw in 2022, where he was on top of the ticket and lost by 14 points in the general election, with nearly, I think it was 92,000 some votes, and to Josh Shapiro, and we ended up in a lame duck session. Now, if Stacy Garrity wins in the gubernatorial election in the primary, which is a good chance that she could win, and the reason why I say that is because there has been threats towards her coming from Shapiro's administration, and I will reveal that here shortly. But she's also won off the ballot, with Trump off the ballot in 2020, and with Trump on the ballot in 2024, and had the most votes for statewide row office with 3.9 million votes, the only person that can beat Josh Shapiro's 2.9 million votes in 2022. And Doug Mastriano, everybody knows, is just not, to me, it's just not electable to do it. If he electable to do it, and people don't want him to do it. My great friend and representative in the forget what his district it was already, in the 102nd district, Russ Diamond even says that he's not electable to run this election, and neither is Doug Mastriano, and Doug Mastriano should run. Stacy Garrity is electable to run in this position, up and down the ballot, and can beat Josh Shapiro for it, and it's very respectable. I do agree with Doug Mastriano that in his one interview with ABC 27, that she has a long way to go with name recognition. It needs to go up and down the state of Pennsylvania, all 67 counties. The other way that she can win, and it is by you, the people, is by becoming a precinct committeeman or a state committeeman. That's up. Get appointed now or run in 2026. 2026 and get involved in the GOP, and so forth. So you got that. So we also have state committee seats up for election in 2026. 2 state chair seats up in 2026. Um, as you as we bring it up here, I will show you to you. Hold on. So, let's see. There you go. Bingo. These 3 are up for election in the great state of Pennsylvania. Greg Rothman, state chairman. Andy Riley, national committeeman. Christine Toretti, national committeewoman. Greg Rothman is newly elected to the state chair and he's already up for re-election. Andy Riley, on the other hand, he's been in there and he's voted for Ronna McDaniel in the RNC election by a proxy ballot. Christine Toretti also voted for Ronna McDaniel in the RNC election a couple of years ago by proxy ballot. My information from this is from one of the actual candidates that won in the RNC election, and that was Harmeet Dillon. Yes, I am great friends with Harmeet Dillon, who is now in Trump's cabinet. Trump's cabinet. So we had to vote on those. We had to vote on state committeemen. I believe it is maybe 4 or more on the state committee people, and then there's 2 for every county election. We need to fill these seats, guys, and I'm going to get more into that shortly. But let's talk about Stacy Garrity again, why she needs to vote, and I'm going to show you just how scared people are that she is running. If I can find the things for it. I thought I was in here. I guess they're not. Screenshots. Gallery. Screenshots. Might be in here. I don't see it. So I guess I don't have it. So I guess I don't have the screenshots in here, guys, are at the point. But I can bring it up to you real quick. So hold on. So yes, as you will see here shortly, just how scared people are, how scared the Democrats are of Stacy Garrity. Let me bring it up for you. Anyway, as I bring it up and show you what exactly I am talking about. Here you go. Bring up the presentation. Bingo. It says, make no mistake, if Stacy Garrity chooses to run for governor against our friend and champion of working women and men, Governor Josh Shapiro, the full force of our members and resources will be deployed to defeat her efforts. While Governor Shapiro spends every day championing working families, growing infrastructure, investment in expanding apprenticeship opportunities, and building on our energy independence, Stacy kowtows to Trump, publicly championing the destructive federal budget bill that disseminated energy projects that were a lifeline for thousands of trades jobs across the Commonwealth. Clearly, Stacy doesn't understand what the working people of Pennsylvania need from their governor. That's evident by her continued praise of this bill that will threaten the tens of thousands of energy jobs. Should Treasurer Garrity make the foolish decision to challenge our governor, she will never again have the support of the Philadelphia building trades, not even for county dog catcher. And I'll show you this one. Then there's this one. If you can't read it, let's see if I can zoom in here. You would have to look very closely at this one because I can't seem to get it for you. Maybe if I did this. So there's that. So let me go back to Rumble for you guys here, and why is it freezing up? Guess I'm gonna have to do it again. Oh, perhaps. Well, switch user. There we go. I am back. Okay. So, let me bring this up to you. I had a bit of a problem. So there you go. So here, let me read it. If you can read it, it says, Harrisburg, PA, the Senate Republican Caucus women members condemn Philadelphia building trades business manager Ryan Boyer's demanding and intimidating statement about State Treasurer Stacy Garrity. Intimidation is a form of harassment, and the statement that he issued across the line. We're calling on Governor Josh Shapiro to denounce this harassing and demeaning rhetoric from his ally. It is clear the statement posted on Facebook was intended to bully Treasurer Stacy Garrity from getting into the race for governor, but we know Stacy has a decorated U.S. Army combat veteran who doesn't scare easily and doesn't back down. It makes sense that the governor and his surrogates are fearful of Stacy Garrity running for governor. They don't want that because, like her service to our country, Stacy's record as state treasurer has demonstrated a record of success for our Commonwealth throughout her time as state treasurer. She has reported more than $170 billion in state assets and encouraged a strong rainy day fund to protect hardworking Pennsylvanians from tax increases. That this is a stark contrast to Democrats who have advocated to spend down our rainy day fund, which will result in a large tax increase near future. As elected officials, we respect the First Amendment and differences of opinions, but we have zero tolerance for using tactics of intimidation. Senator Baker, Senator Barletta, Senator Brooks Brown, Senator Culver Kiefer, and Penny Cook, Senator Phillips Hill, Senator Ward, and Senator Kim Ward all signed off on this. So there you have it, guys. As you can see, the left are growing crazy because of Stacy Garrity. You don't see that. You don't see them attacking Doug Mastriano for running because they know that he is a cheap shot to losing and another repeat of 2022. A lot of the Democrats want him to run. Why don't people get that through their thick skull? That is what caused us to be in a lame freaking duck session for the past 2 to 4 years since 2022. Do you want another loss to Shapiro and have another lame duck session and lose majority in the office and get nothing done in the House and in the Senate? Chris Dush, who is a conservative, said he doesn't. I mean, not Chris Dush, but many of the Republican Party in the House don't want Doug Mastriano to run. Let Stacy run. She is qualified at 3.9 million votes for a statewide row office. Can beat a 2.9 million statewide governor election in 2022 by Josh Shapiro. She's won off the ballot and on the ballot, and she can continue to win constantly, and she's the only one that can do it. There's plenty of support behind her. I don't know why people don't see that she is able to, that they don't want to run. I don't care. All I care about is winning, and that is the way we win. The other way to win is by getting involved. I've been talking about this constantly. Getting involved in your elections, getting involved in your local GOP, getting involved in your state GOP. Be a volunteer for your GOP, but we must be aware of what is going on. Do your research, do your due diligence. The numbers talk for themselves. 3.9 million for statewide row office for Stacy Garrity versus a 14% loss in the general election, almost 92,000 votes short of winning the general election against Shapiro. That was Doug Mastriano. Most of his base has freaking lost support for him. And he even admitted that he went too far to say that he lost it because of the mail-in ballots in 2022. He didn't want mail-in ballots, but now he's saying that mail-in ballots can actually help him out, and he admitted to it. And he also said that if Stacy Garrity decides to run, that he's not going to attack her. He helped Stacy Garrity run in 2020 when she barely had any lead on her, and so he might be helping her if he doesn't run, and he hasn't came out yet. There's always speculation. I played the videos for you on what is going on. She's making a potential run for it, decision on it, and it will come out shortly. So is Doug Mastriano. Dan Muser dropped out because he was a wimp, and it was his best decision to drop out because he knew that he could not beat Shapiro. And he didn't want to be beaten and lose everything. So he dropped out and he's staying in the Senate, or staying in the Congressional House. So with that said, we need to have Stacy Garrity run in this election, and she's not backing down. This is grassroots, and we need to get behind Stacy Garrity, 100%. So that being said, I want to play you this video, real quick. Let's see if I have it. I don't think I have it. Okay, I don't have the screen recorded one. No, wait a minute. What? Oh yeah, it's right here. Here we go. Let me share my screen. And bam.
Democrats are pushing a radical Marxist agenda, while weak Republicans let it happen. Do you feel helpless? Want to know how to fight back? Well, here's the answer. The PrecinctStrategy.com is a free resource on how to become your local GOP precinct committeeman. Precinct committeemen help elect county chairmen, officers, and even delegates to the RNC. There are over 400,000 committeeman seats across the U.S. But what the GOP establishment doesn't want you to know is that 200,000 of those seats are vacant. We need America First patriots to fill these seats. It's time to fight and kick the rhinos out. Help take back our party. You can make a difference. And PrecinctStrategy.com will show you how. Take action now. Be a warrior. Help save this great country. Visit PrecinctStrategy.com now.
So, reason why I played that is because becoming a precinct committeeman or state committeeman is so important. The rhinos in the state committee are targeting mega conservatives all over the counties, 67 counties, and we need to fill these vacant slots. We need to get involved in this election, guys. And the best way to do that is taking action on becoming a precinct committeeman. I had a few more for you that I wanted to show you. But anyway, while it is loading, I'm going to show you exactly why I'm talking about, why it is important. So, here you go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. See if I can bring it back up. Alright. There you go. In 2008, well over half of the Republican Party's local committee volunteer voting member slots were vacant. From 2010 all the way to 2020. Whose fault is it? It's whose fault? It's conservatives complaining on the internet's fault. And it's people complaining, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. Stop complaining. We need to take action. This is what the current party strength looks like now. At half strength, ideologically split. No message, no ground game, GOTV capability, 200,000 precinct committee seats. We need to outnumber the moderates. What our party could look like is this. It says current party strength at half strength, ideologically split. I already showed you that. This is what it could look like. At half strength, says what it could look like. 100% strength and 75% conservative, 400,000 precinct committee seats filled, outnumbering the moderates with the Mega America Firsters. And then we go to this one. Then we go to this. So, as you can see, this is what we look like. A Republican Party at war with itself and at half strength. 200,000 vacant, 100,000 Trump PCs, 100,000 others. It's completely split. This is what we could look like. A unified Republican Party with a 75% Trump majority and at full strength. 100,000 others, 2,000 Trump PCs, local committees, county committees, state committees, national committees. It's from the bottom to the top, not top to the bottom thing. Why do I keep preaching this? Because I'm hoping that you guys will get up off your couches and off your chairs, call your local GOP and get involved. Why? Because precinct committeeman is the most powerful office in the country. Precinct committeemen vote on county party leadership, and county party leadership then votes on state party leadership, and state party leadership then votes on RNC leadership. It's real political power. Just because you're affiliated Republican or your affiliation is Republican voter does not mean you're part of the Republican Party. And I'll show that to you. Bingo. Here you go. It says precinct committeeman. Precinct committeeman powers versus voters. Precinct committeeman voters. Elect all party chairs directly or electors of. No. Voters no. Elect electors of the state convention delegates. Precinct committeemen. Voters no. Get electors of state parties. 3 RNC members. Precinct committeemen. RNC members no. Republican voters no. Get access to parties. Get out the vote software. Precinct committeemen. Voters no. Elect those who write party platform. Precinct committeemen. Voters no. And then I'll show you just how the process works. Here you have it. Registered Republican voters. Precinct. You guys vote. Republican voters vote on precinct committeemen. Then we vote on legislative district committee officers and county committee officers and state committeemen. Then they vote on state convention delegates and national committee women and national committee convention delegates and state chair. As you can see, that's the process flow. So, as I said, you gotta get involved. It's real political power. No precinct committeemen, no Republican Party. It is that simple. And we need more mega conservatives out there willing to step up and fight. Willing to get out there and fight. We need America First precinct committeemen in Maryland helping Tim Fazenbaker get elected in Edgemere and Dundalk and Baltimore County District 9 counties, and getting Stacy Garrity or Doug Mastriano or whoever you support in the office in 2026. But we also have a huge election coming up in 2025. That's why I said this is the great race 2025 to 2026, because this upcoming election we had to vote no 5 times. You have to vote no 5 times. 5 times to vacate the Democrat corrupt judges who Democrat corrupt the judges. And I will show you just who they are. So mail-in ballots 3 days after Election Day in 2020. These two voted to extend mail-in ballots 3 days after Election Day in 2020. All 3 voted to kick the Green Party out the ballot in 2020. What happened to democracy? They threw it out the window. They trashed it. They stumped on it. They said, forget the Green Party. Forget a third party. This is a 2-party system. That's not how it works here in America. We are a representative republic, not a democracy. Allowed Governor Wolf to shut down PA during COVID. These judges decided and voted on whether they should shut down Pennsylvania and your businesses, your churches, and cancel your religious freedom and worship, and made you wear masks for 4 to 5 months in the summer, and shut down your livelihood and your money and your income as well. So that's not the only thing they did. There is more detail I have for you. If I can find it. Hold on, guys. Here it is. So, vote no on judicial retention. If you can read it. Vote no on judicial retention. Pennsylvania Supreme Court is currently composed of 5 Democrats and 2 Republicans. We can change that this fall. These 3 Democratic Supreme Court justices are up for a 10-year retention vote. Vote no for Justice Christine Donahue. Vote no for Justice Kevin Dougherty. Vote no for Justice David Wedge. There's 5, but I'll bring them up here. It says these judges violated your constitutional freedoms, locked down schools, churches, and businesses during COVID, picked winners and losers for essential PA businesses, forced constitutional orders without due process, shredded our election integrity, twisted laws to enable unfair redistricting and allow mail-in ballot 3 days late in 2020, removed the Green Party from the ballot in 2020, overturned convictions of sexual predators, Commonwealth court cases, and enjoy catalytic pension plans at taxpayer expense. The longer in office, the larger their pension grows. And I said there were 5. I'm going to show you the 5 that I was talking about. Justice Christine Donahue, David Wedge, and Kevin Dougherty, Alice Becky Brewer, Michael Wuchek all vote no on November 4th to vacate these suckers out of office, to get them out of office and vacate them. Why? Because as the video showed earlier, we could possibly have a majority to go 5-2 majority, 5 Republicans and 2 Democrats in 2027 when we vote on a special election to vote Republican judges in office, so they can redistrict vote to redistrict maps on the consensus to have more Republicans in office in House districts. What would that look like for us? I can show you right now. I think I have it. So, this is a tweet from Jeremiah Watson. It says, "Here is what a non-gerrymandered Pennsylvania would look like: 13 Republicans, 4 Democrats. This is why we must kick all 3 Democrat justices off the Supreme Court this November. Vote no to retention for Judge Donahue, Judge Wedge, and Judge Dougherty. Let's flip the Commonwealth Court from blue to red." And this is what it would look like, as you can see. So we must have a massive voter turnout in the state of Pennsylvania and York County, because York County in the primary election was egregious, was disgusting, and in-person voting. It was 10.5% voter turnout in York County. Vote early and vote in person, not by mail-in ballots. Vote early and vote in person and not mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots. So there you have that. Tomorrow we will dig even more deeper into the 2026 election by going into past in 2022 with the Doug Mastriano race and some stats on that. But we need to continue to fight and deconstruct the courts and the administrative state. We need to kick these corrupt commie socialists out of office, that lock down your businesses, that lock down your churches, that lock down essential businesses and made you wear masks and shut down your schools and your children's freedoms and kick them out in the upcoming election so we can go forward in 2026 and have a Republican majority in the Supreme Court right before the 2028 presidential election. Presidential election and so forth. So the other thing there's some other slides I wanted to show you. So this is this one I'm going to show you. So the steps needed for America Firsters to achieve the goal. The goal is hand-counted paper ballots, no machines, mailed ballots only for military and invalids, small precincts, one-day election. Every Republican Party precinct. What? I'm doing a line. What? Go ahead. Sorry about that. Small precincts, one-day election. Every Republican Party precinct committeeman slot filled by a volunteer America Firster. Much greater turnouts of America First voters. Primary, general elections, and America First winners. America First state legislators and governors, all to get to the goal of this. So that means every precinct slot needs to be filled by America Firster for greater turnout in primary and general election for America First winners, America First state legislators and governors. So who do we fill these slates with? I will show you here in a minute. So, America First National, we fill it with America First National Defense, Second Amendment supporters, anti-mandatory vaccinations, build the wall, anti-mask, build America First audits and hand-counting paper ballots, elect better school boards, America First foreign policy, right to life. Text enough already. All unite in local Republican Party committees to get out the vote for the best conservative primary election candidates so they win. That's how we win. We make the Republican Party the mega party. We make the Republican Party our own Republican Party. Return it from a establishment party to a mega America First Republican Party, grassroots, and change the party from inside the party, and so forth. And then why that is going on, I want to play this for you.
Welcome. I offer you a choice between two worlds. Take the blue pill and continue living in the world you know, a world of complacency and indifference. Or you can take the red pill and join us in creating a world where like-minded people come together to fight for freedom. What the elites don't want you to know is that there are 200,000 open committeeman seats in the Republican Party. These party members are the ones who determine the future of the GOP. The precinct strategy will teach you what it takes to elect America First candidates who share your love of country and desire a better America. Will you take the blue pill and continue living in a world where a corrupt few control everything? Or will you take the red pill and join us? Let's take our country back, one precinct at a time. Choose wisely. Your future depends on you.
Well, that is all I have for you today. I will see you tomorrow evening, and have a good day.